Well, there's an old saying I'm sure you've heard of, and that is that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Some people say one man's junk is another man's treasure, whatever. It means the same thing. And for the last 40 years or so, I've made my living selling other people's junk. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, this isn't a how-to video. In other words, it's not about how to buy and sell or how to sell other people's junk. It's about why some people's definition of junk is totally different to what another person would think of about the same object. It's a difference of opinion. And within that difference of opinion, there's an opportunity for me and lots of other people to make money. So let me give you a little example. I've got an old book here. It's not a Bible, but it's like a Bible. This is in from Victorian days. This is a 19th century book, so late 1800s, and it's basically it's a prayer book. It's a religious book. I'm not a religious person, so I'm not going to go into great detail. But it's the altar of the household and the Sunday preacher teaching for the young. So the whole thing's about teaching religion and the Bible and prayers and everything to young people. And back in the day, back in the late 1880s, that is something that people would have had in their own household to teach their children. Or maybe it would have been in a church, whatever. There's not a great deal of value in it. It's not worth a lot of money. And to most people, it's junk. Let's be honest. Most young people today wouldn't want that in their house. They had no interest in it whatsoever. If they inherited that from a grandparent or somebody in their family, it'd go in the skip or down the charity shop or in the bin, wherever. But there's another group of people that would either like to read that book because it's an old one, it's not a modern copy. So they'd either like it for the content or they'd like it as a display item for a bookshelf, or maybe they're a dealer in that type of thing and they'd buy it because they see value in it and they can resell it and make a profit. That book, by the way, value, I know I'll sell it for about £25. It would have gone in the bin. In most people's hands, that would have gone straight in the bin. Charity shops these days don't really want them. They're more interested in newer modern stuff. But I'll sell that for about 25 quid. Let me give you another example. Now this is an old table lamp, right? It's broken at the top, so it needs repairing if somebody's going to use it. And to the vast majority of people, this is junk. Okay, that'll go straight in the skip. Charity shop wouldn't have it because it's broken. It'd go in the bin. But there are people out there, I know, I only got to find one. I've only got one of them. There's a person out there that will want this. Its value's about £25, £30, somewhere around there. And the reason that somebody will buy this is because this is nearly 100 years old. And it's made out of Bakelite, which is a really early plastic. It's the first form of plastic, really. And if somebody's got, this comes from a particular period. It's the style of it is called Art Deco. And if somebody's got a house and they like that particular period, that particular style, this is of value to them, even though it's not working, even as a display item. I mean, it's only a lamp. It can be repaired, that bit at the top, and it needs a new cord. They'd probably put an original cord on it from the period. But to somebody with a house that's decorated in the Art Deco style, that has got value. Most people, junk in the bin. I'll give you another example. This thing I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on anything really, apart from the value of things. This is an old technical drawing instrument. I doubt if anybody these days would even use this. But it's got a lot of age to it. I don't know exactly. It's probably 80 years old, something like that, I would think. And somebody will either buy this as part of their collection of technical drawing instruments, if they collect that, or a dealer will buy it for me if he specialises in selling this type of stuff, and he'll make a profit out of it. That's probably worth about 40 quid, something like that. £40, sorry. So the point I'm trying to make is, with all this stuff, most of the stuff that I do is older stuff, because I've been clearing houses for most of my life, for the last 40 years. So a lot of the stuff that I get is from those house clearances. It's people that have normally passed away, older people normally, and this is the sort of stuff that they have in the house. There's another video coming about that. But the same thing applies to modern stuff as well. Even modern stuff now, people have got so much of it. When they're having a clear out, they're decluttering. If they don't want it, it either goes to the charity shop or it goes in the bin. Some people do sell their stuff. They'll stick it on Etsy or eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and they'll actually make an effort and sell it, or they'll take it to a car boot sale. But the vast majority of people, in my experience, can't be bothered. They haven't got the time or the inclination or the technical know-how to actually do that. They're just not interested in doing it. Their time's more valuable than the value of the object. So they just get rid of it. And that's fine. That's great. It gives me a living. So it doesn't matter whether it's old or modern. There is value in most things for someone. It's just a case of finding that right person. And you do that by selling on particular platforms or in particular places where you know those type of people go to look for their thing that they're interested in. Well, I think that's given you a little bit of an insight into how I make money, selling other people's junk. And hopefully you found the video interesting. I'd like to do some more of them, and particularly about the house clearances that I've done during my time. I've got some hair curling stories about them. But I've got a few things to pack up now, that some old junk that I've sold. I'm going to get that packed up and get it out in the post so the people, my customers, get it early next week. And as I say, if you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.